Yeah, good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. So I have shared this PPT to those who already confirmed their joining, guys. Okay, let me know if I missed anyone. So you should have received an email with this with link to access this PPT. This is software and sample applications required for performance testing. Okay, now these are the software, and anyways, you already might have installed Zoom meeting, isn't it? If not, please install Zoom meeting. Don't join from a browser, guys. Did everyone install Zoom meeting on your system, or you are joining from a browser?
Downloaded.
You had downloaded Zoom meeting and installed on your machine, right? You can also join from a browser, but don't join this. Don't join from a browser. You can also join from a browser like this. Go to zoom.us and you can click on join and enter the meeting ID and you can join here. But please do not, join. Please do not follow this approach. Did anyone join like this? Guys, did anyone join Zoom meeting using a browser? Okay, I'll take
No,
a
sir.
as no. Right. So this is, this is how you can join from a browser, guys, isn't it? You can enter the Zoom meeting ID here and click on join. 869404931. Enter the Zoom meeting and join. This is one way of joining without installing Zoom meeting. So basically, if you join, right, if you join from a browser, you are using a web-based application. Whereas if you install Zoom meeting on your system, right, like this, if you install Zoom meeting and join from your system, right, you are using a desktop application, isn't it? Clear, guys? You are using a desktop application. Yes or no?
Yes, fine.
Yes.
So you remember, like previously we discussed, like there are different types of applications, right? Web and mobile apps and desktop applications. Remember that? Or no? Somewhere we have discussed this before. You see over here for already existing application, web, mobile, desktop application. So what is this desktop application? If you install any application on your machine, right, those are called as desktop applications. Clear, guys?
Standalone.
Everyone. And they are also called as thick client applications. They're also called as thick client applications. Okay. And all the browser-based applications are called web applications or thin client applications. Sorry. Thin client applications. Note it down if anyone is taking running notes. Web are browser-based applications. Okay. Web means nothing but browser-based applications are called as thin client applications. Clear, guys? So I hope, I believe like most of you are joining through a desktop application of Zoom meeting, isn't it? Now, so Zoom meeting you already installed, right? Most of you already installed, and download Notepad++. That is the next thing. Download Notepad++. So do Google search for Notepad++, right? Notepad++ download for Windows. Go to this website, notepad++.org. And this is the download. This is the latest version, right? You see on the top, the latest version. And now here you see something, right? Download 64-bit, isn't it? You see some download 64-bit, download 32-bit. What is the meaning of this, guys, everyone? So click on installer. So meanwhile, it will be getting downloaded. And let us discuss what is 64-bit and what is 32-bit. And which one to use, right? So everyone, please, click on installer file or download button under 64-bit. So meanwhile, while it is downloading, so let me explain. So softwares, will be in two versions, released in two versions. One is 64-bit and the other one is 32-bit, right? Can one of you please share your screen, those who don't have this software? Can you please share your screen, guys? Those who did not install Notepad++ yet, can you please share your screen? Now, what we are discussing is what is 64-bit and what is 32-bit. Everyone should know this, guys. You should know, like, when you are installing some software, you should know whether it is a 64-bit or a 32-bit software. Okay. Now, let me explain. So there will be 32-bit softwares and 64-bit softwares. Not only that, if you go to your C drive, if you go to your system drive, what is meant by system drive? System drive means everyone.
All the applications running in the drives.
What is that?
Applications will be run in the drive.
Applications will be running, installed. Applications will be installed. So the drive in which your applications are installed is called as your operating system, and all the softwares will be installed. That is called as system drive, right? So by default, C drive, all the softwares will be installed in C drive, right?
Yes, yes, Pawan.
Yes, sir.
So this C drive is called as system drive. Okay, that is also called as system drive. Or system drive means nothing but C drive, where your operating system is installed, right? And now in C drive, observe here, there are two folders here, program files and program files x86. What is the difference between these two? You
Now
should
one
know this
program files
difference.
folder is 64-bit and x86 is 32-bit.
Right. So program files folder is, all the 64-bit software will be installed into program files folder, and all the 32-bit software will be installed into program files x86. Okay. Understood, guys? Now let us, let's install that Notepad++ now. You will see that into this folder. Okay. Because we downloaded 64-bit, right? So let me go to downloads folder. And yeah, this is 64-bit software. You see that x64, right? At the end of the software, right? So you see x64. One more thing. You are not seeing the file extensions, right? Let me enable the file extensions. Everyone go to view here and go to show and select this file name extensions, please. Everyone, please do this, guys. Go to view and show and file name extensions. Is this done? Now you are seeing the file extensions for all the images, right? For all the files, right? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
Now, so see, what is this exe? So you can now see the file extensions that, for JMeter, it's a zip file, and for Notepad++, it is an exe file. Exe stands for executable, right? Now let me run this, let me install this Notepad++. So double click that exe to install the Notepad++. And Saskala, so you should have got a notification saying that, do you want to allow this program to make changes? So can you please click yes over there? It will not show up for me. Yeah, thank you. Now select the, once you click yes over there, right? So you'll get a window like this. Select a language. By default, English will be the default language. Installer language will be English. Click OK. Please do this, guys. Everyone, please do this along with me. And now we got so from here onwards, it is next. So it's simple and straightforward. Okay. Click I agree for the license and conditions. Click next. Somewhere it will ask for, in one of the screens, it will ask for desktop shortcut. We need to enable that. Okay, can you please click on next? I'm unable to click somehow. Yeah, please wait. So select the checkbox, create shortcut on the desktop. Yeah, now click install. Okay, click finish. Right? So why do we need Notepad++ is okay. Why do we need Notepad++ is so whenever we want to, we want an editor, we want to choose an editor, we are going to use this Notepad++ instead of Notepad, because Notepad has a lot of, wonderful features. Notepad++ has a lot of wonderful features. It is much advanced than Notepad. You have something called macro feature. This is one wonderful feature which will be useful for us, right? That will reduce our, effort, time and effort drastically, this macro. Or else, you have some search feature with advanced options. Okay. So you can search for normal text or, regular expression or extended, right? There are a lot of features in this which are not available in Notepad. So we will be using Notepad++ only throughout the training, guys, but not Notepad. Clear, guys? And you search at a time. You suppose if you open some 10 documents, you can open at it. You can search for something in all the open documents by using this feature. Find all in all open documents. So you'll, you'll understand, what the advantages of Notepad++ over Notepad in the training, in the course of training. Okay. And thanks. I am stopping your screen share, says Kailash. Thank you. And you can see the version also over here. If you click on question mark and go to about Notepad++, you can see the Notepad++ version that you have on your system, right? 8.5.4 is the version. Clear, guys? And I'll come back to my screen. I'll share back my screen. Guys, any new joiners, please mark your attendance. Make sure that you mark your attendance here.
Pawan, you are editing the Saturday's attendance.
Yes. Let me pause recording. Why? If anyone is facing access issue, I'll explain why. What is the issue and how to resolve it. Please check, everyone, please check, guys. Those who got the PPT, can you please check, guys? If you are able to access, I can see who all are accessing now. Right? I can see that Sujan is accessing, Ajay and Kirti.
Pawan, it is asking for
Kalyan and Satwik. What is that?
it is asking for approved request.
Yeah, I'll come to that. I'll explain that. What is that issue? So who is this?
Nagaraj here.
Who is this? Nagraj.
Yeah.
Nagraj, I have shared it to you. Let me check if your email ID is there. Let me show you that. What is your email ID, by the way? That is
The first one, Padmanaga.
what is that?
Line number 3. Yeah, first one, Padmanaga.
Yes. So that means you got access. I gave you access. If your email ID is here, I gave you access. Now let me explain why you are unable to access. Okay. Tarun, I did not share it to you. I think you didn't. Tarun, I shared it to you. Share it to you to this Gmail ID. Okay. So let me explain, that's why I asked you to check the access. Otherwise, like later on, I'll receive pings. So I can see that total 10 people are able to access now currently. Right now, let me explain. So I know how to. So if anyone is unable to access, right? For example, Nagraj. So check what is the Gmail ID, on the top right, with which Gmail ID you are facing the issue. Okay. In any browser, one Gmail ID will be set as a default Gmail ID. Please check, what is the Gmail ID currently set as a default one. How can you check that? You can click on bottom right and you can see which Gmail ID is the default one. For me, my default Gmail ID is this one. Understood, guys? So change the Gmail ID to whatever you gave to me. Understood, guys? Whatever Gmail ID you gave to me, switch to that Gmail ID by clicking here. Then you will be able to access, guys. Understood, guys?
Yeah, Pawan, I got it.
Recording. Yeah. So previously, once we, we installed, can you please give me control? Install Notepad++, right? Now, yeah, thank you. Now let's check that in the program files, right? So you should see that, hold on. So let me take control. So you should see that Notepad++ now a folder gets created in program files, guys, because it is we installed a 64-bit software, right? Now you see here, right? You see that got installed now in program files, isn't it? Just now, 16.7, you see that timestamp, right? Date modified keep an eye on this date modified, guys. Again, everyone should know this. Okay, when that software is installed or when that folder is created. Understood, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
So basically, now you understood why we have two folders with the same name, right? One is program files and program files x86. So all the 64-bit software will be installed in this program files folder, whereas 32-bit software will be installed into this x86 folder. Clear, guys? And you see some 32-bit software installed already. Windows NT, Media Player, Windows Mail, and all this. Clear, guys? Any does and all this, right? And some software are installed in, some software got installed in program files x86. That means all these are 32-bit software. Yeah, thanks, Ispala. So in the previous session, Saturday session, we discussed what are the different types of performance testing, right? And new joinees, I see some new names. So do we have Ganga still? Yeah. So please go through the recording sessions. Those who missed the previous sessions, guys, I already shared, all the previous sessions to you. If you did not receive, please let me know. I will share it again. But please go through. So this is a batch tracker, by the way. I will share this batch tracker also to everyone. So I'm sharing this batch tracker also so that, you can track like what concept is covered on which day. And, if you missed any session, you can go through the corresponding recorded session. Everyone received the batch tracker, guys? An email with this link to the batch tracker.
Yes, Pawan.
Sir,
Bhavan,
Sir?
I'll share it after the session. Okay, I don't have your email handy.
yeah.
I'll share it
Can
after the session.
can I give it now in chat box? Is it okay?
What is that?
Chat box? Can I type it right now?
Yeah,
Is
please
it
share it
okay?
in the chat box. Yeah, please share it in the
Okay,
chat.
okay.
Please make sure that there are no issues. Okay, please don't ping me later on. So I will be in office. I cannot help you immediately. So please check if you are able to access the training content and material immediately. Right? And also I'll share the class notes document as well. Okay. I think I already shared the class notes document. I shared it to few people, so I'll share it to everyone now.
Pawan, we have received only fundamentals of PPT. Is there any other material for tool?
No, I haven't shared any other material yet.
Okay.
I did not share this. I'll share this, guys. I'll share this PPT. I'll share this to everyone today. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, I have shared, sir.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I'll share it after the session, immediately after the session. Okay. So let us,
Okay.
we are running out of time. Let's discuss, what are the different types of performance testing in detail. So in the last session I covered, we discussed briefly, right? What are the different types of testing and which application requires different, which type of testing, isn't it? Any background noise from my side?
No.
No.
Okay. Now let's say, let us discuss in detail. So what are the different types of testing? So what are the different types of testing, guys? We discussed that in the previous session. What are the different types of testing? Different types of performance testing.
Load testing,
Load
Volume
stress,
test,
soak,
volume
endurance,
test.
spike
test,
volume.
volume test.
Right. So first mention load test and then soak test. And then you can mention spike or stress or whatever you want. So always please start with load test because load test is the, okay, I'm sharing back my screen. So load test is a mandatory test before doing any type of testing. Okay, you read it over here. Load test is the mandatory test that will be done prior to any other performance test type. It is a mandatory test that will be done prior to any other performance testing. So there are different types of performance testing. I gave the list here: load test, soak test, stress test, spike test, right? In this slide, I am covering these three types of testing. In the previous slide, we discussed, like what are the different types of testing. In the previous session, we already discussed that, right? Load testing, soak or endurance test, stress testing, spike testing, volume testing, scalability, and all this. So however, if in the interviews or if someone asks you what are the different types of performance testing, always start with load test, because load test is the first and foremost type of testing. Now, what is the meaning of load test? So load test is something which we do with current user load on the system. Load test is a performance testing that we do with current user load or normal user load on the system. On the system means
On server.
whatever application that you are testing. Okay. Whatever application that you are testing, whether it is a web application or a mobile app, right? So system means application. Yes, I already explained this in your class notes also, isn't it? Yes or no? So did I hold on someone is, did I cover that case? System means nothing but application that you are testing.
Yes, sir. It's in the previous page.
It's already there.
Yes, sir. It's there.
There it is. Application under test, right? So it can be a web application or a mobile app or a desktop application. Clear, guys? System is nothing but application under test. Now, so if we test the application with the current user load or normal user load or expected user load on the system, that is called as load testing. We generally simulate the current user load on the system when you are doing load testing. And load testing is usually done for 1 to 2 hours. This also we already discussed, right? We usually do load testing for 1 to 2 hours. And this ensures that the application is stable and can handle expected peak load, right? This ensures that load test ensures that the application is stable and can handle the expected peak load. Clear, guys? And then it is a mandatory test that will be done prior to any other performance tested, right? And only once we do load test, then we go for the other types of testing, that is soak test or stress test or spike test, whatever it is. The next type of testing is soak or endurance test. And these two are mandatory for any application, guys. These two are the mandatory performance tests for any application. Please remember this. Okay. Now, so what is soak or endurance test? So before that, what is the meaning of soak or endurance? I think we already discussed this also. Soak or endurance means long duration, durability or long duration. So endurance test is something which we do for longer durations, right? And how long it depends on, the duration depends on the business hours of the application. Duration depends on business hours of the application. So it can be 4 hours or 8 hours or 16 hours or 1 day or 3 days. Clear, guys? So duration depends on the business hours of the application. Means how many hours does the business continue in a day, right? Understood, guys? What is meant by business hours of the application?
Yes.
So so suppose if you are testing LIC application, LIC software that is used by LIC employees. Okay. Let's assume that you got a project from LIC and you are testing the LIC software that is used by LIC employees, right? Those who are working from office. So they will start at the sharp 10 o'clock, right? I think 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock is the opening time. So they will start at 10 o'clock, may not be sharply, but they will close the working hours by 4 o'clock exactly. Isn't it? Or, their working hours are somewhere around like 3:45, I think, right? 3:45 or 4, whatever it is. So let's assume 4 o'clock. So 10 to 4 would be the business hours of that, isn't it? Even though they are, working later on, they will not accept any customers. If you go after 3:45, they will not accept. Okay, even though you want to pay a premium of lakhs of rupees also, they'll simply ask you to come tomorrow. Yes or no, guys? Because they have to do the closing operations. So once the cash counter is closed, right, they will not, accept any premium. How many of you face this experience? Or if you take a bank, any bank, right? So if you assume that 10 to 3 are the working hours. So those are the business hours of that application, right? So understood what is meant by business hours, guys?
Yes, problem.
So business hour, so this longer duration or this endurance test duration will be based on business hours of the application, right? So it can be 4 hours or 8 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours. Okay, need not be exactly what I mentioned here, guys. I just gave some examples. And how about this 16 hours, 1 day? How come it can be 1 day, right? Any application will be used continuously for 1 day or 3 days or 2 days?
Yes, during sales, Prime Day sales.
Okay, not exactly during sales, but if you have some, applications like Twitter or Facebook or WhatsApp, they'll be used continuously, right? Across different regions, across different, regions or across the globe. Yes or no?
Yeah.
If you take examples like WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter, Insta, right? Some people will be using Insta in midnight also, right? They'll be using continuously. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Facebook will be used continuously, even in midnights. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
So those applications, we need to test those kind of applications for. So basically, what is the purpose of doing this testing, endurance testing, is to see the application behavior when it is used continuously for hours together, hours or days together. Understood, guys? So those kind of applications require maybe they may be doing this endurance testing for Insta or Facebook or Twitter kind of applications for continuously for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. Clear, guys? Not only that, some banks, for example, I worked for a product-based company called Bank of America previously, right? And it is a wholesale bank. They are into wholesale banking business, and they are spread across, around 20 countries. They do operations from 20 countries. So by the time let's assume that the main origin or main country is US, of course, right? But by the time, all the banks will be closed in US, right? Or US business hours will be closed. Some other people may be using in some other country, isn't it? So that's why, so we cannot, we cannot say that, the business hours are only 8 hours or 10 hours for those kind of applications. It can be days also, isn't it? So we need to test the application behavior whenever we want to test the application behavior. How is the application behaving when it is continuously used for days together, right? Those kind of applications require this, 1 day or 2 days or 3 days also. We need to run, we may need to run the soap test one continuously for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. Understood, guys? So what is the main objective? So observe here, each test has a different purpose, right? There is a specific objective for each type of testing. So this is one of the important interview questions, and this will be asked as one of the first, top 5 questions in the interview. What are the different types of testing? Very important interview question, guys. What are the different types of performance testing? Right? So, and then you say load test, soak test, stress test, spike and all. So can you explain each of those types of testing? And what is the objective of that test? First of all, what are the different types of performance testing? So you'll say, suppose you say load test, always start with load test case and then soak test, soak or endurance test and etc. etc. Now they'll ask you, the next immediate question that you can expect is, can you explain each type of performance testing with the objective? What is the purpose of doing that type of testing? And that's what we are discussing now, right? So the main objective of soak testing is to identify any performance bottlenecks like memory leaks, connection leaks when an application is used continuously for longer duration, right? And now what is a memory leak and connection leak? I'll explain it later. For now, remember that we'll discuss this in the coming, in the next 1 month, guys. Okay. Once scripting is completed, Once we go to server-side monitoring, I will explain this. It's too early now to discuss this. I'll explain this after scripting is completed. But for now, remember that, understand that, each type of testing has a specific purpose associated with that, right? And the next type of testing is stress testing. So stress testing is done by gradual increase of user load until the application breaks. And the main purpose of stress testing is to identify an application's breaking point. We already discussed this yesterday, isn't it? The main purpose of stress testing is to identify an application's breaking point. What is meant by breaking point? At what user load the application is breaking, or at what user load application is throwing errors, right? And response times are increasing. That is called as breaking point of the application. And that breaking point is identified by using stress test, something called stress test. And how is it done? It is done by gradual increase of user load until the application breaks. Clear, guys? Any queries, guys? Before moving to the next slide, I will continue tomorrow. We have a hard stop here at 9 o'clock. So any queries before we move to the next slide, guys? Guys, I'm audible, guys.
Yes, bro. You're right.
Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow we'll discuss spike test, volume test, and scalability test. Okay, so please make sure that you have access. You are able to access the training material and PPTs, whatever I have shared to you, and batch tracker as well. Right? I'm stopping the recording. So we'll continue tomorrow, guys. This is the batch tracker. So I'll update the batch tracker. Any new joinees, guys, after who joined late, apart from these guys? Okay, if not, I'm stopping my screen share and stopping the recording.